You know what's really annoying about manifestation is if you do not care, if you get it, then you'll get it. It's so much easier to manifest something that you want if you don't really care about it, right? And so when we forget about things, we forget about our desires, they often manifest because we're not really caring as much, or we're not caring as much that we don't have it, right? So in this video, I want to talk about 3 processes, 3 methods that you can use to not care about your desire as much so that it can actually manifest. You release the resistance and it can come in so fast. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliet. I'm a manifestation coach. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and tap that bell icon. And guys, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to work with me, that information's in the description box below for you, as well as links to my other YouTube channels. Okay, so let's get right into it. So if you don't care about your manifestation, if you don't care that you don't have it, if you stop caring about that thing as much or that person, they manifest, right? That's just how it happens, because when we don't care as much, what's really happening is that your desire hasn't gone anywhere. You still want what you want, but you let go of your resistance, because when you're not giving it so much attention, you're not caring as much that it's not there. And if you don't care if it's not there, then you don't really have much resistance. So you're going to manifest what it is that you want, which can be so frustrating, because it's the things often that we really, really want that we're like trying to manifest, and we're trying to look up, processes to try and manifest because we really want it. And that often gets in our way. So in this video, I want to give you 3 processes that you can use to just kind of release some resistance and make it seem like, you know what? I don't really care as much. It's not such a big deal that I don't have what I want yet. And when you actually get to that point in your energy, in your vibration, then you'll manifest it. So number 1 is kind of funny. So you want to make the universe think that you actually kind of want this unwanted situation that you're in. Now, this process may not work for everything, but apply it to whatever situations that you can. So basically, I've talked about this in my programs, I've talked about this on videos, but if you make peace with not having what you want, you release so much resistance, because then there's no urgency, there's no desperation, there's really not much resistance standing in the way, and you'll manifest it. So you're making peace with whatever you're going through right now, the lack of what you want will make it manifest. It does not attract more of not having it, okay? It doesn't. It works the opposite way, okay? Because you're releasing resistance, and that's what it's all about. So you want to kind of trick the universe into thinking that, you know what? I don't actually need this thing right now. I'm actually grateful, or I actually feel good about the situation that I'm in. So what you're going to do, if there's a certain situation, you're going to actually sit there and you're going to say, or you can write it down, but basically you're going to specify what you actually like about this situation that you're in right now. So the unwanted situation, or maybe it's even you're anticipating something bad happening, like, well, what if that happens, right? Because it's in the resistance of pushing against, of being scared, that we actually attract the things that we don't want. Because it's not like you can say yes or no to the universe. It's what you give your attention to. And you, especially with your emotion, if you got emotion attached to it, well, you're adding power to that. You're adding momentum, okay? There's a greater chance you'll attract it. And so what you're doing is you're just going to list the benefits of this situation. You're going to list the things, the positives, any positives about this situation. You're going to be writing it down. You're going to be speaking it, thinking it. Like, you know what? It's actually not that bad. What you're doing is you're saying to the universe, this is actually not such a big problem. This is actually not so urgent. I'm actually okay with where I am right now because this, this, and this, and this. What you're doing is you're making the most of the situation. You're thinking about, how can I make the most of this situation? How do I benefit from this situation? And there are always benefits, there are always positives. But again, some situations you may not resonate with doing this process, but it is so powerful, because now you're not caring as much. Now you're saying, this is not such a big problem. If it's not such a big problem within you and everything is you pushed out, you're not going to have that problem anymore. If it's not such a big problem within you, then you have found solution, and you're going to see that reflected outside of you. It's going to begin to change or improve. You're going to get your manifestation. So if you're thinking about a worst case scenario of like, oh, I really don't want this to happen. Okay, but if this did happen, what would be the benefits? Like, how would I actually make the most of that situation? If that happened, okay, I would do this, and actually I have time to do this, and actually, so just pointing out all the positives. You might think, oh, if I'm pointing out the positives of that, I'm going to attract that. No. What you did was you just released resistance around that. If you're not pushing against it and resisting that and being afraid of it, it's not going to manifest. You're not a match to that. You're a match to ease. Oh, I feel relief. You're a match to your solution. It's like, oh, this thing didn't happen. This thing didn't manifest. This thing did not work out. And I'm upset about it, and I want it to change, and I want to get the solution. I want to get my answer. I want to get my desired result. Okay, but actually, you know what? That thing not happening, really good, because it freed up some more time. I get to focus on me, or whatever it is. So basically, you're just looking at how this benefits you. And when you do that, it's like a reverse psychology, because you're no longer feeding the problem, right? Everything's about your attention, and you're no longer feeding the fear or the negative experience or the lack of what you don't want. You're actually just making peace with it. You're making the most of it, and you're being very positive. What can I take out as, how can I make the most of this? What are the positives? Now you can only attract more positives. Try this out, please, and let me know how it goes. The next method is basically to get yourself distracted with as many good feeling things as possible. So when I talk about manifestation, it's really like, okay, what manifests in your experience is mostly based on your dominant overall vibration, how you're feeling and thinking and being more of the time. Okay, so if we want to kind of quiet down the negative stuff, the limiting beliefs, the feeling of lack, of reacting to the current reality, we want to kind of quiet that down. The way that we do that is by putting our focus on other good feeling things. Look at your environment, okay? Look at your life, look at your habits, your actions, but also your habits of thought and emotion. And if you can kind of saturate yourself and distract yourself more of the time, right, with positive things, with good feeling subjects, with passion projects, with gratitude, with appreciation, with just any good feeling things and habits pretty consistently, you drown out the negative stuff. You drown out the limiting beliefs. You drown out the low vibration, okay? So what this does is it raises your overall dominant vibration, so that even though there's still those little, limiting beliefs or the feeling of lack, they're so small in comparison now. They're really quiet. You've pushed it off into a corner. Okay, you've turned down the volume and you've turned up the volume on all the good feeling stuff. And that's how you're going to attract in what you want. And when you do this, you distract yourself enough that the missing thing, or the lack of what you want, or the unwanted situation is no longer a problem. You don't care as much, because you're so focused on other things that are feeling good, that are working well, that you like, that you appreciate, that you're enjoying, you're basking, right? You're relaxing. And so now you don't care. You really don't care as much. You're on a frequency where you're not even thinking about the lack. You're on a frequency where lack does not exist. And so you're not picking up those negative thoughts as much. You're not picking up that subject that's not working as much. Now that it's not a problem within you, it will be resolved. And the third thing is just to give up. When you give up, things manifest so quickly. And it's not because you're giving up your desire, because you can never do that. It's giving up the yearning. It's giving up the focusing on the lack of the desire, focusing on the problem. It's giving up the struggle and the fight and actually stop fighting. It's giving up worrying about it, and it is giving up needing it to change in order for you to feel good. You have to understand that the things outside of you in your life, every single thing, right? You allow it to affect you, then you're a victim. You're not in control, okay? But all of those things do not need to change, because if you look at something in your life and you're like, I need this to change, this has to be different, this has to be better, this has to, go away. It's a reflection of you. You have to change. You have to change, then those things will change. And when you give up, what you're giving up is that inner battle. It's that resisting. What you resist will persist. You're fighting against it. You're fighting against yourself. You're fighting like, I don't want that to happen, or I hate that this is happening, and you're pushing against it. Just give up. You don't need to keep focusing on what you want either. You can let go. There are so many people's stories where they have let go, they forget about it, and it manifests. Because when you forget about it, you're almost living in the state, and you're just, working on feeling good or whatever, but you forget about trying to do that, trying to change that, trying to fix that. What you're doing is you're living in the state of the wish fulfilled, right? You're living in that end result state of being, because if it's happened, you don't worry about it. You're not trying to fix it or trying to make it happen. You've accepted, okay, I've done the work, I've asked for it. Now I'm just going to go get happy. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to elevate my state of being, raise my vibration, but I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to focus on it as this big problem. You don't need to focus on it to get it. You can let it go if it's really, been a struggle and it's kind of bringing up so much resistance. Just give up. Give up and truly give it over to the universe, surrender, and you just focus on your vibrational frequency. So many things manifest in that way when we finally give up and stop trying, because we let go of our resistance. And all of a sudden, it's like we don't actually care as much about not having it. We just give it up. Okay, I give up. You have to really make that decision and stick by it to just completely surrender and not fight against it anymore. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that you try some of these out. They're really powerful. If you do, or if you have already used these and they've been successful, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so. Give this video a thumbs up and share it. To work with me, that information is in the description box below for you. Have a magical day, and I'll see you on the next one.